Alright, so let's look at number 13. Number 13, we're looking at using the rational root test. We're listing all the possible rational, which are fractions. Okay, so fractions for ratios, if you will. Zeros for the following polynomials. Now, I did show my students in class a good way to remember this is to look at the very starting term, okay, and then the very last term. Now, I know this is a little bit corny and cheesy, but that song started from the bottom, now we you. Whatever that song is that you guys are listening to these days, that's going to be my denominator. And that's why I said started from the bottom. Okay, that's my denominator piece. And then the top numerator piece are going to be that last term, okay, associated with that 12. So all I'm going to do now is list the factors of this number, which is 1. Okay, so the only thing that I can factor out 1 with is 1. But then I'm going to list all the factors of 12 down here. That's 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Because there's 12, there's another 12, and then there's another 12. Okay, so this is how I'm going to build these numbers. I'm going to try, and watch the way I'm doing this. I'm going to try 1 over 1, 2 over 1, 3 over 1, 4 over 1, 6 over 1, 12 over 1. So I was doing each one at a time over that denominator factor of 1. So if I list them all out, I have a positive, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. This is how I can list them out. I don't have to write them all over 1 because they're all an understood 1, if you will. Okay? So if you want to put parentheses, you can, but they're not really required because this positive and negative is basically showing that you have all of these numbers. Would you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? A total of 12 numbers. Again, positive 1, negative 1. Positive 2, negative 2. But I'm not going to list them all out. But that's what it's accounting for when you see this, when you see this plus or minus piece right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the next one. So let me make sure that's written out. Good. Alright, so B, we're going to do the same thing for B. We're going to start, so start it from the bottom. Now we yield. So this 3 is going to be factored out into 1 and 3. Please, please, please do not just write 3. You need to factor out 3. That means what numbers times themselves would give us 3. And then our last term over here is a negative 15, which are going to be the factors up top. Again, please, please, please do not just write 15 or negative 15. I want you to write the factors, the two numbers that multiply to get 15. So you got 1 and 15, you have 3 and 5, and that's it. There are no other factors of 15. So here again, this one's a little bit more tricky as far as to see the fractional pieces that you're going to build. You have 1 over 1, 3 over 1, 5 over 1, 15 over 1. So let's go ahead and write those out real quick before we move on. So 1 over 1 is 1, 3, 5, and 15. These are plus and minus. Now come the second grouping. And I'm talking about the second grouping associated with this right here denominator piece of 3. So I have 1/3, okay, or I'll have 3/3. So 1/3, 3/3, 5/3, and 15/3. Now you're going to see some of these will overlap. You know that 3 over 3 is the same as 1, and you know 15 over 3 is the same as 5. So we don't need to write those over here. We can just do away with them, okay? So that the only things left over are the following factors. We have 1, 3, 5, 15, and then 1/3 and 5/3. So let me just move this over here just a little to the left, because again, we don't have to double duplicate account for those other ones, which were 3 over 3 and 15 over 3. And this would be the listed answers. So that's the one for B. This is the one for A. And remember, it's all started from the bottom. Now we yield. And it's all about those factors for each numerator and denominator piece.